everybody. Welcome to another Mic Drop Mentorship. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Casey Coleman, one of the co-founders of Pre-PT Grind and a current physical therapist. And today on this Mic Drop Mentorship, I want to talk to you guys about being G.P.A. shopped. Being G.P.A. shopped. So it kind of sounds like being price shopped. And that's where I'm going with this Mic Drop Mentorship today. So I hope you guys had a great weekend. Hope you're having a great Sunday as well. And on this topic, I wanted to talk to you guys about the similarities between, being shopped for your GPA and being price shopped. Because a lot of times there's some similarities between them that a lot of us don't really know even exist. So with that said, let's talk about being price shopped first. Then we'll get into the whole GPA thing, because we get a lot of complaints about why does GPA matter? GPA is not everything, this and that. And I get it, and I agree with a lot of it. So let's get into it. So being price shopped, a lot of us do it, including myself, and we can do it for anything. We can do it for washing machines, for shoes, for electronics, for phones, for laptops, this and that. Everyone does it, especially with Amazon and even Walmart doing shipping and online stores and Etsy and everything like that. People are shopping around for price. And in businesses, we don't really want that. We want to differentiate ourselves so we're not in that market of being price shopped or people just, looking for the lowest prices. So if you take, for example, Nike or Apple or I won't go Amazon, but Nike and Apple, if we talk about those two, they're pretty much out of the business of being price shopped. They're not, people probably price shop within their business. Okay, I don't want to pay this much for the newest iPhone. I'll get the older iPhone, so I pay a little less. They price shop within that company. But Nike and Apple and companies like that have such a big brand that price doesn't really come into play when people are loyal to that brand, when people are invested in that company. There's no more price shopping going around because they built up their brand or where I'm getting to, their personality. So with companies like Nike and Apple, price shopping doesn't really exist, right? So when we think about Nike, let's just think about Nike. If Nike had a hotel, what comes to mind when you think of if Nike had a hotel, what would come to mind? Probably it'll be dark inside. It might be sleek. It might have some sports in there. Might have a treadmill, a workout place. Might be sleek and slim. Might have shoes on the walls. Their bathrooms might be decked out in some Nike sayings and things like that. So when we think of their brand, we're not just thinking of that Nike swoosh. We're thinking of how their personality would feel with wherever they go in business, right? And it's the same thing with Apple. If you think of them having a hotel or Apple having a car, what would you think of? You probably think of Apple's car looking like a MacBook or an iPhone. So their brand is not necessarily that Apple logo. It's their personality and how you, the consumer, feel about them. That's where the brand is. Now, let's move to physical therapy. A lot of people, or even if you're interested in having your own business in physical therapy, you want to get out of the business of being price shopped as well. You want to get out of the business of, I can just go down the street and get, cheaper physical therapy, right? I just want to go down the street and I can get something, less expensive. Or I can go to another hospital or another surgeon, if you're talking about surgery, and get a knee replacement for less. It's not always the best, right? So you, as a physical therapist, as a future physical therapist, if you want to own your own business or have an online business, whatever it is, you want to get out of that world of people shopping around for price. You want to bring so much to the table. You want to have such a good brand. You want to have such a great personality in your business or just as a staff physical therapist that price doesn't really come into play. So where I'm going with this price shopping and GPA shopping is that you want to do the same as a pre-physical therapy student, or applicant. So you want to get out of this world of the faculty or the schools just looking at your GPA, just like a lot of consumers look at other businesses just for their prices. So you want to get out of this world of just being GPA shopped or shopped around for your GPA because everyone has a GPA. Everyone has to take the GRE. Everybody has to write essays. Everybody has to get observation hours. That's not going to make you look too different because everyone has to have them. So your most underrated skill as a pre-PT is not your GPA or not your study habits or not your grades. Everybody has those. Those are a dime a dozen. Everybody can copy this and copy that, and you can all look the same. But the most underrated skill or asset as a pre-PT to get you into physical therapy school is really your brand or your personality, if we were to narrow it down to the simplest forms. So your most underrated skill as a pre-PT is your personality. Because you can copy whatever I say on this live stream to say to your faculty. You can copy whatever link somebody puts up in a blog post. You can copy whatever somebody says in a comment. You can do this and that. But that won't really show through, and they will see directly through that on your interview, on your campus visit, on your email, on your phone calls. You'll just look like everybody else who used the same script, who used the same copy, who used the same resources, who used the same strategies. You won't really be different because you're not using your most underrated skill set, which is your personality. You're just copying everybody else. Then that is when you will be GPA shopped. That's when you will be price shopped. That's when they will be like, oh, they're not really that different. I can just get another applicant with a little better GPA. Or somebody has a little better GRE. They're not that interesting. Their personality really doesn't stand out to me. I'll just go on to the next person who's just a little bit better than them in that biology class. Or just a little bit better than them in anatomy. Or just a little bit better than them with their observation hours. They have 5 more hours here. I'll go with that next person because, Ashley doesn't really stand out to me. Or Hong doesn't really stand out. Or Justin doesn't really stand out to me. So that's when you will start being GPA shopped. Or GRE shopped. Or letters of recommendation. Whatever you want to call it. That's when it comes down to what you don't want to happen, which we don't want to happen in businesses either. So let's take that a step further, because as pre-physical therapy students, you will be a physical therapy student. Then you will be a physical therapist, then whatever you want to be on and on from that. So when they're looking at you as an applicant, they're pretty much thinking how you will be, not just in your clinicals, because that's the most recent thing that will come up in your academic career. They're looking at how will you be as a physical therapist. Do you really have a personality now? Do you have a brand now? Or will you be price shopped as a physical therapist? Will you be price shopped as a physical therapist? What personality, what brand do you have now that can carry you through school, and when you get out of school can differentiate you as a licensed PT? Because patients will price shop you out the door. They'll leave and they'll go straight somewhere else, or they'll just leave and not come back to physical therapy. They will price shop you out of business. They will price shop you out of a job. So you have to start now with beefing up your personality, with beefing up your brand, so you will not get GPA shopped, not just now, but you won't get price shopped later. Your personality is the most underrated skill set, not just as a pre-PT student, but as a physical therapist. Because everybody, as a physical therapist, we all learn the same techniques in school. We're bound by CAPTE and the NPTE. We all have to learn the same things. When you get out of school, we will all know the same. It doesn't matter if they go to Casey or Hong or Justin. We'll all know the same basic things. Maybe we're a little more skillful at manual. Maybe we're a little bit more skillful at neuro. But basically, we all know the same thing. What will separate you as a physical therapist? It will be the most underrated skill set of your personality. Because they can copy your snags and nags. They can copy your McKenzie techniques. They can copy your manipulations. We all learn that. They can all do that. Just like McDonald's can copy a burger. Burger King can do the same thing. They all have fries. They all have this. Apple and Microsoft both have laptops. Android. It goes on and on. So what's going to separate you is your skill set. What's gonna separate you is your personality skill set. So your skill set might get you in the door for the meeting, because we all know GPA, it kind of matters, it gets you into the door, but your personality will get you accepted. So all the stats, we all know, you need a base limit of whatever the schools want, and that can get you in the door. That can get you into the next step. That can get you on a phone call or into the interview. But what will get you accepted is your skill set of having that personality. And a lot of people overlook that. They just see, oh, I need this stat, I need that GRE, I need this and that. And it's true, you have to get the basis. You have to get the foundation, or you can't even get into the door. But after that, you have to beef up your skill set of having that brand that will set you apart, that personality that will make you get in and make them not say no to you. Something different about you that will separate you from everyone else who looks the same. Because with PT schools, they're really looking at, does their school or does their cohort represent what's going to happen in the real world? All these schools are saying they want diversity in their classroom because they want diversity in the field of physical therapy. And I'm not just talking about race or gender, but I'm talking about your background, your experiences, your life, your personality, your brand. They all want their cohort to be a mix of different people and different brands and different personalities. So if you're the same cookie cutter or copy and paste person as the person sitting right next to you or the person on this live stream, they do not want that in their class. They don't want a bunch of 4.0 cookie cutter people or 3.7 cookie cutter people in their class. So how are you going to circumnavigate that? Is what I've just been talking about this whole time. How are you going to circumnavigate that environment of them wanting different people to replicate what they want in the field? It's what I've been talking about this whole live stream. So your skill set, your basis, your foundation will get you a meeting, but your personality, your brand, you differentiating yourself will get you accepted. So that's really what it is. The most underrated skill set is really your brand as a pre-PT. It's really your personality as a pre-PT. It's a skill set that many of us don't think as a skill set or is a skill set, but it's something that we can work on to separate ourselves and make us stand out. So just like other companies do it, other companies are trying to get out of the business of being price shopped. You want to get out of the business of being shopped around for your G.P.A. or being shopped around for your GRE, or you being looked over just because somebody has just a better score than you just around the corner. So that's what you want to get out of doing. And how you do that is by beefing up your skill set of your brand and your personality. So it's very underrated, and you guys need to work on it, especially if you're struggling or you're comparing yourselves to other people, because nobody can copy you and your personality. Nobody can copy Gabby's, nobody can copy mine, nobody can copy Sarah's, nobody can copy your personality or your brand. So it's something you can triple, quadruple down on to get you into physical therapy school. Other people can copy exactly what you're doing everywhere else except that. So it's one of the most underrated aspects of your application. So work on it, do some personal development, listen to podcasts, read some books, and get ready for that, because it's going to follow you all throughout your career. You don't want to be price shopped as a physical therapist, so you have to start now and not be price shopped for your GPA, your GRE, or any other stats that come with your application. So that's pretty much it. That is the underlying, or that is the most underrated aspect of your application. So work on it. Make sure check out our podcast. If you're new to us, go to www.preptgrind.com and you'll find everything there. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.